Hey YouTubers, today we're going to be talking about another office theory I had about Andy Bernard and how this guy's evolution of fashion might tell us a lot more about his character than we once thought. So for those who don't remember, Andy Bernard, played by Ed Helms, was introduced in season 3 of The Office and went on to become the Office branch manager after Steve Carell's Michael Scott left after season 7 in season 8 and helped run the show throughout its 8th and 9th seasons. But for me, as a fan of the show and someone who's watched it a total of 4 times now, I'm wondering what actually happened to Andy's character as the show progressed. Why is it that he seems to go from a pretty normal, kind of conventional salesman to somewhat of a clown throughout the entire series? I understand, like most shows like The Office, who have run for 9 seasons, have writers coming back and trying to figure out what to do with these characters that are ever evolving, and then you kind of run into a problem like Andy, where you have characters kind of becoming shells of their former selves and really become more like a parody of what they once were instead of a fully fleshed out character. And I guess it's pretty easy to sit there and say that's what happened to Ed Helms' Andy Bernard throughout his 6th season run on The Office. I mean, from the moment we meet this guy, he seems pretty forgettable, not really the most standoutish guy in the room. Yes, he has some kind of a problem with Jim, and yes, he has the singing trope that he just uses way too often, so much so that it becomes really funny after a point. But at the same time, he isn't so much of a clown that he turns out in the future seasons. He's not wearing pink pants with weird ties with anchors or anything else that we see him do out of the latter part of the series. But I'm asking, what if there's a subtle reason throughout the entire series that helps us explain why Andy has made such a subtle wardrobe change throughout his entire run in the franchise, and also an explanation as to why he becomes much more of a clown than when we first met him? And that is, what if he's just simply using his anger management skills in order to make himself more calm in more and more stressful situations? It's pretty clear after he shows back up to Dunder Mifflin after his stay in anger management that he realizes that he's the only salesperson left on this team after Karen quits and Pam and Jim get together. That must put a lot of pressure on Andy, because he's starting to realize just how many clients that came over from his original branch that are now solely on his shoulders, because these people that he's taking over from probably want someone that they're wholly familiar with, and that would be Andy. At the same time, he's being taken over by Dwight and Jim and Phyllis and everyone else that are actually better salesmen than him. This plays a lot with his psyche and makes him a worse salesman throughout the entire series, and that's why we see him going into the dumps later on in the series, where he becomes solely the worst salesman in the entire Dunder Mifflin staff. He lost all of the clients that were put on him from everyone who left in the original branch, and those clients either left him for another salesperson in Dunder Mifflin or simply left the company as a whole. Obviously, this took a huge toll on his own mental and physical health, and in order to combat that, I think what he did is started to put more and more color in his life. That's why his wardrobe subtly changes throughout the entire series to be way more colorful and way more playful than it was when we first met him. This is an anger management tool that he learned from anger management to help him deal with the stressful situation that he now finds himself in at Dunder Mifflin. This is just a theory of mine. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real, guys.